Hey, Coach, you talked a little bit about you wanting to get involved in the community in Nebraska. It was really important for you guys to get out. I mean, Nebraska, like some towns in Pennsylvania, there's a lot of small towns. Why is the community effort and being out in the public and being out in the community important to you?
Well, I think because that's just, I mean, we're just people, you know. It's my wife and I and our kids, you know, and so my wife has some things that she's passionate about. She'll end up setting up a charitable organization and, you know, trying to do some things, you know, we're very passionate about. She's very passionate about dyslexia and learning differences, and so she'll do some things across the state. That's really part of her purpose in life. But, you know, I just think for me it's you know, COVID probably took a toll on all of us, you know, and so if you don't get out and, you know, sometimes as the coach, you know, you're like, you know, we lost a game, should I go out in town? Hey, we won a game, should I go out in town? I just choose not to live my life like that. You know, we're going to go out, we're going to be at dinner, we're going to go to Little League games or soccer games, we're going to go take part in charitable things. I mean, we want to be a part of Nebraska. We want to be a part of the community. When I say that we chose to live here, like we literally flew in. Can't believe no one found out, but we drove around, we looked around, and we said, could we raise our kids here? And we said, absolutely. Like, we left, and I kind of looked at my wife like, this is done. Like, I could see it in her eyes, and she was like, this is where I want our family to come. So, to me, we all have a responsibility when we move somewhere to be a part of that community.
I'm not going to say just because I don't know if Trev wants people to know, but it was a game day. Everyone was playing, so we were able to kind of fly in on a Husker game. Yeah, it was a Husker game. So we were able to fly in, and everyone was at the game. So
was it warm or cold?
we were able to do that, and then we kind of, you know, then we got away for a while. You know, we had a trip planned, and Julie and I went away for a while, and because, you know, we just didn't want momentum to take over. We didn't want this, whatever decision we made to be a decision of emotion. It was we got away from it.
Trev did say that this was a long process and there was an impasse. Was there a point that said this is just not going to happen?
Well, you know, I think there were a lot of things to work through. You know, I think every university, every state, you know, every state has different things that they have to work through. And I had a unique situation that I had a contract for 4 years with the Carolina Panthers, and so, you know, there was a partnership that had to be worked out between everybody, and, you know, what would work and what wouldn't. So, yeah, there were some different things that happened. I would say I've never gone into a job with a closer relationship with someone than I have with Trev, because we've gone through all these hard conversations. This hasn't been just like, hey, won't you be the coach? Yeah, great. I've had to have these conversations, and what I found is Trev is really creative. You know, he's not going to just take the first no. He's going to find a way around things. And as I said, you know, we have a lot of respect for Admiral Carter. We've known him for several years. And you know, when he was involved, and Trev was involved, it just made us feel better about, you know what, there's going to be hard times, right? I mean, dealing with NIL, transfer, all these things. We're coming to work for people that are problem solvers, not just
Trev said it was 11 a.m. on Thanksgiving. What was that thing like for your family? How did you maybe communicate to your kids and your wife that it was done by?
Was it 11 a.m. Thanksgiving?
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I think we thought it was the next day, so maybe he knew something we didn't know. But when I told him, because I think the night before we thought it wasn't going to happen. We just didn't think it was going to be able to happen. You know, my son was not happy. My wife was not happy, and when we finally got the call, I told my wife, you know, as I said up there, she cried, she teared up. Like, this is what she wanted to do. This is what Brian wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. The two girls, they were just, you know, my daughter rides a horse. I promised her I'd find a horse farm here somewhere that she could go ride. I mean, they didn't really understand it, but you know, my wife all along just kept saying it wasn't about anything other than this is the right fit. She said, Matt, I know you, and this is the kind of program that you're supposed to be coaching. There were other places that you knew weren't a fit. And so I think the best way to say it was, you know, she just kind of teared up because, you know, this is a great new chapter in our lives.
Hey, Matt, we bumped into Casey Thompson out in the parking lot, and he said that he's already talked to you. What was the conversation like with him and with other players that you have to go through, and what do you look for in a quarterback?
Yeah, and I hope you guys understand. I'll probably, you know, I'll always keep everything private between us. But, you know, I think the thing I've tried to express it there is every one of these guys, man, this is an anxious time for them, right? They're trying to figure out, like, you know, what's the offense going to look like? What's the defense going to look like? What's my role going to look like? Who's my coach? And so after having done this several times now, I really understand that. That's why I said you start with listening. You know, I'm going to tell everyone, hey, this is how we're going to do things. I'm going to share a vision with everybody, and then if it's for you, great. If it's not for you, I understand. I want every student athlete that's in our program to be happy. And so if they're not happy with us, then I want them to go somewhere else where they can be happy. My job is to make sure that this place is so developmental, so caring, so nurturing, yet also so pushing you that everyone feels like, you know what, I am happy here. So it'll be a lot of one-on-one conversations. You know, I started trying via text, via call. I called some guys. I want to make sure I get the pulse of the team.
Is there a
2 or 3 more guys,
aha
ladies?
moment, not like right before it happened, but maybe when you were here, like seeing things, or a moment where you were talking with Admiral or Trev, you were just like, yeah, this is it. Like, is there a specific moment?
Yeah, there were several times, but I'll tell you, when I thought it wasn't going to happen, when I thought we weren't going to be able to do it, I remember sitting on the couch and being like, damn, pardon my language, damn, like that was the right place for me, and it just kind of didn't work out. And so I think that's a great thing. You know, it's like, it's one thing, you know, you get caught, again, these job things happen so fast, like, you know, it's like you talk to them, they offer you the job, you move on. I had a moment where I didn't think it was going to work out, and it's no fault of Trev's and really no fault of our own. It just wasn't going to be able to happen. And I sat there and I was like really disappointed. And so when they called back and said, hey, what if, you know, let's try something else, I felt, I knew then that this is where I was supposed to be. Along the way, I think there were a lot of little moments. Like I'm telling you, if you guys check my son's YouTube history, I mean, we've watched everything. And so, I think I could see my son getting excited. I could see my wife getting excited. I kept watching all the recruits. From the last 3 years that went on to other places. I just kept saying, like, hey, can we get talent there? I talked to different people, but in the end, just was a gut feeling, and I think that gut feeling was verified that day.
I got a recruiting question then. Do you plan to be in living rooms by Friday? How many coaches do you need to have in place to kind of hit the road to recruit? And what about the current commits? Obviously, there's 15. Are those a priority to kind of make sure, kind of see where each one of those kids is?
Yeah, you know, I called all the commits right off the bat. You know, just let them know. You know, number one, you know, obviously that first question is always, hey, you're going to honor my commitment. Now, some guys have some other things, you know, going too. So, you know, we're going to recruit those guys. You know, we're going to be really aggressive here, you know, recruiting-wise. You know, getting out there and trying to just bolster the class and get as much talent here as we can. I will be recruiting Friday. What exactly that looks like right now, I don't know, just because of, you know, if there's someone who wants to come visit. I'd like to have the full load of coaches out on the road.
10 guys.
Yeah, but I don't know how things will happen here. It's my first time really dealing with the business part of this, and, you know, and the current coaches. So I want to be really respectful of the current coaches. Make sure that I talk to them, and then get on the road. But we will be on the road. Hopefully, have an official visit, you know, maybe next weekend. These guys who came on one visit can come on a second visit, and you know, we'll just be relentless, trying to fill the needs. Part of that for me right now is going back and watching the tape. Guys who haven't played, like, you know, where do they fit? Where, you know, what do we need? I'd say there's a lot of work that has to be done recruiting-wise in a short amount of time for us.
Do you have any conversation with Scott about? I mean, you said he was friends. So, have you had any conversations with Scott?
Scott Frost? Yeah, I talked to Scott yesterday. You know, I'll keep the contents of that, but you know, as I told Scott, you know, I'll always honor him, both, you know, obviously for the player that he was, but also for the coach that I think he is. Going against him, I consider him a friend. I don't know what happened here, you know, but I know he probably put his heart and soul into it. And I think, you know, COVID probably, you know, when you're recruiting to Nebraska, you want people to come see the facilities. Recruiting during COVID was probably pretty hard. But I also asked him if there were any coaches, you know, on the staff that he wanted me to take a look at. But more importantly, I told him, I said, hey, listen, this is right for me and my family, and I would never want you to think it's in any way disrespectful of you. And that's why, you know, I mentioned him on game day. I'll mention him now because I think he's a great coach, and I think he's a really good friend of mine, and I'm hoping that he has a great future ahead on the sidelines.
Coach, coming from the NFL, is there anything you wish to bring schematically, whether it be to do with rotational coverages we're seeing there, to the college game?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Like when I watch the NFL football, I feel like I'm watching like the college football. You know, I'm watching Mahomes and those guys. There's a lot of things that we'll do, you know, defensively. The one big difference between the college and the NFL, obviously, being the hashes and the splits. You know, so much of the blitz packages you see in the NFL, where guys are running out to cover number 3, he's so much wider. You know, you try to do the thing and Riley, he's going to throw a bubble screen, and you're going to be disappointed. So
we have to have a combination of that. But you know, there'll be the guys on my staff. A lot of them will have some sort of NFL experience, and we'll try to incorporate a lot of that. One thing I've always prided myself on is, and I say just to get when I say myself, I mean our staff. I don't want to sound like this ego guy. I'm not a narcissist. It's just easier for me to say it this way. Is having an offense and a defense that translates to the next level. You know, I don't want guys to come here and run like 3 plays and, you know, maybe we score some points, but they get to the next level and they flame out. I want guys on offense to know how to block zone schemes and gap schemes. And I want our quarterbacks to be able to go through progressions and protect. I want guys on defense to play multiple coverages so that when they walk into an NFL system, they have an advantage. And that's really a message for recruits. You know, if you want to get to the National Football League, we want to be the place that helps you get there and stay there.
Is there